Welcome to the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. My name is Rob Murgatroyd, and I am a former doctor turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I interview some of the best minds on the planet on the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. Today's episode is a mini-sode that we call Fri-Date with the Wife. In these mini-sodes, my wife Kim and I deconstruct the strategies that we've developed over the last decade to not only grow personally, but to turn our struggles into lessons and create fulfillment in all areas of our lives. Excuses are over. It's time to live. Let's dig into today's topic. All right, before we jump into this episode, I want to invite you to be considered for my Work Hard, Play Hard Mastermind by completing an application at workhardplayhardmastermind.com. So this mastermind is not like any mastermind you may have been to or heard of, I promise you. This mastermind is for 6 to 7 figure entrepreneurs that are working too damn much and aren't taking the time to have amazing experiences around the world with an incredible tribe of people. So every 100 days or so, I drop you into new experiences that are specifically designed to elevate your thinking, to give you new ideas. Look, you get your best ideas not staring at a computer. And actually, this is the way high-level people really collaborate with each other. They do it over a glass of champagne, watching the sunset in the south of France. So if you are ready to do some fun stuff around the world and really, really want to level up your tribe in one shot, fill out an application at workhardplayhardmastermind.com. We'll jump on a call and we'll see if it's a good fit. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Kimberly, damn, are you lucky to be married to Rob Murgatroyd. How are you today?
I am lucky to be married to you.
You see? Was that so hard? Did it kill you to say that?
No, but you said it first, so I didn't have to say it.
You know what we're going to be talking about today, honey?
What? I'm so curious to know.
We are going to be talking about fulfillment, ladies and gentlemen.
And the
fulfillment
crowd goes wild. Yeah.
All right. So as many of you know,
we're going to do a masterclass in fulfillment right now.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been coaching a lot of people in the area of fulfillment. So
isn't that interesting? All the other coaches that I know, it's like, I'm your business coach. And half of them haven't even created a business. But you, my dear, somehow stepped into this beautiful lane of coaching people that are successful in business, how to be successful in all the other areas of their life.
Well, it's an interesting thing, right? Isn't it? If you have somebody that is, and I'm going to use, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take mentally in my head, I'm going to take 4 or 5 clients and put them together into one quote unquote fake clients. And I'm going to be telling you about them, speaking about them. Does that make sense? So I'm going to be taking pieces of 4 or 5.
You're hiding their identity.
I'm going to be Frankensteining this thing. Yes. I'm going to be taking a little of this and a little of that.
Well, let me lead you.
Because they all have themes.
Let me lead you in this a little bit because you're the master of fulfillment. I don't know anyone that goes all in all of these areas of life like you. So when you have a new client that wants to tackle a lot of areas of life, what's the first thing you have them do?
Well, I have them fill out an application because the application is mostly designed for them to gain clarity on what it is that they want. And my application is set up in such a way that it rates them on a scale of 1 to 10 in the key areas of their life, from their finances to their relationship, to their hobbies, to health. To all of those things.
Well, what are those things? I want people to, we're telling people how to do this. So hobbies, relationship, health, spirituality, family, finances, all the areas, right?
Yeah, all the areas. And then there's prompts of questions that ask them, what areas are they feeling like they want to improve?
Where's your application so people can look at it?
Workhardplayhardcoaching.com.
Okay, so whether or not you want to apply for coaching, you can at least go there and see the questions and prompt yourself if you wanted to look at fulfillment in your life. So you have them rate on the scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I have
And they
them
can't
rated.
use 7.
They can't use 7 because 7 is the number that people
The comfort zone.
Well, because you got when you choose 6, it means it's low. When you choose 8, it means it's high. When you choose 7, it means
lukewarm.
I don't want to commit.
Non-committal.
I don't want to commit to low or high. So I make them choose 6 or 8.
Okay, so you do this. So if somebody's following along, they go through, they rate all these areas.
Yeah.
And then they start with the lowest, and they kind of blend in what they really want to start with, or do you typically start with like the lowest on the totem pole?
Well, the application really reveals itself as the person is going through it. It becomes very, very obvious where they're strong and where they're weak.
Yeah.
So what we'll generally do is once I start to look at those numbers between 1 to 10 and I see the 4s and the 3s, then the rest of the application, the prospective coachee starts to say, I realize I am low in this area and I do need work on my relationship. I do need work on my hobbies. And so they start speaking to that area. So now here's the thing where it gets tricky, because a lot of the entrepreneurs that I coach do very well in business, but like anything else, they don't consider themselves doing well. It's kind of like, you have somebody that's a fitness competitor and it's, they're like a size 0 or 1. And they're like, look at this little pooch I have. I'm like, no, you don't have a pooch. We're always so hard on ourselves and we self-rate not very well. So they'll look and they'll say, well, my business is really a 7, but my relationship, no, that's like a 4. And so I know what they're doing. They want to do better in leaning into making more money, but the one that's glaring is these 3s and 4s of hobbies and relationships and spirituality and et cetera.
Okay, so if somebody is not being coached by you and they want to try to kind of dig on their own, now they've rated themselves, what's the next step for them to kind of dig a little deeper? Like relationships of 4. What are the questions they should ask themselves? Like, why is it a 4? What makes it a 4? How could it be better?
Well, first you got to talk about it, right? If you're not going to have a coach, then start journaling and saying, okay, my relationship is a 4. Why did I rate my relationship a 4? Why am I coming in so low? And then, you'll start to discover, that's what a coach does. A coach starts poking around in there. But if they're not being coached, then you have to start finding out why look, if you're rating it a 4, you know that there's no date night and there's no conversations and there's hidden resentments that you have, et cetera, et cetera. You generally,
and the same with your health and all of these other things.
If you're smoking 3 packs a day, you got why you're
winded.
You're winded, right? So,
Okay, so they look at what the lower ones are, and then they do a little discovery session with themselves, maybe their best friend, maybe with their journal, maybe with a coach, and they figure out why those areas suck so bad, right? Give me some examples of some of your clients and how you have helped them intentionally do specific things to bring more fulfillment and to raise these numbers.
Okay. Inside of all of us, we know what it is that makes us feel good, and we know what it is that we want. And for one reason or another, we're not doing those things. So I'll give you an example. When I talk to a prospective new client and they say something like, when I was in college, I spent my summers backpacking through Europe. And now, I'm building my business and it's going really, really well. But I don't know. There was something about that time I miss. And then when I start dancing around and I say, when was the last time you took a vacation? And they say, well, I've been to these 4, places. And I say, was the vacation business or was it pleasure? And they go, well, I was at a conference. I was speaking at a conference. I was visiting family. And I say, okay, yeah, but remember when you just said to me that you loved, when you had the freedom of backpacking through the south of France with your girlfriend? Was it that kind of trip? No, it's not. Okay. Do you want to do that kind of thing? Yeah, I do. I'm just not doing it. I keep saying I'm going to go to Kathmandu, but I don't do it. Why don't you do it? And this is what I found with most of my clients. These are overachiever entrepreneurs that are going all in on their business. They're coachable, they're goal-oriented, and it's not that they don't want to be well-rounded. It's not that they don't want to do these things. It's that their life is not set up with an infrastructure that supports the accountability that's associated with anything outside of business. Everything is business, business, business. What I serve for them is an accountability I am an accountability person to be able to accomplish the things they want. So I've got real quick.
So to give some breaking down of examples, because again, not everybody is going to be coached by you. Like your coaching schedule is pretty damn full. So to break it down, you're putting things into their schedule, blocks, non-negotiable blocks, whether it's in relationship on a date night, whether it's in travel or another hobby or exercise or whatever. You're opening their calendar and saying, where are we putting this? Make a commitment.
I'm not only opening their calendar. We are literally saying, how many trips do you want to take this year? We'll use travel as an example. How many trips do you want to take this year? Well, I'd love to take 4 weeks. Where would you like to go? I'd like to go to Europe. And we dream, right? So we come up with, I want to go to Australia. I want to go to, Morocco. We come up with 4 or 5 things. Okay, when? Well, I got the problem with the kids' school. Okay, let's talk about that. Stop right there. What's the problem? Well, the problem with the kids' school is X, Y, and Z. Okay. We're not going to go anywhere until we mitigate that problem, because until that problem is mitigated, you're going to keep looping it and you're never going to do the trip because of XYZ that's blocking you. So we're going to unstick you, we're going to unblock you, and we're not going to get off this call until it's done. Okay. So then we brainstorm. Tell me all of the challenges that are associated with you going to these 4 places. And then you look and you find out there's like 3 or 4 big ones. Okay, so you mitigate those 3 or 4 big ones. You say, okay, these are the trips we're going to take. Great. Now, let's talk about air. When can you go? How much is it going to cost? And we literally build the trip. That's an example with travel. Okay, so I'll say something like, when we jump back on a call in 2 weeks, here's what I need from you. I need you to come back to me and tell me
record locator number
with either a record locator for the flight that you booked, or 3 hotels that you're considering, or the ways that you mitigated this challenge. I am literally going to be your accountability person to make certain that you are living the life that you want to live.
I'm going to take it away from this because I think people can draw the lines of how they would block it in for fitness, for all of these things. So to give you guys a little bit of a peek into our life, because this is kind of just what you do in general. When we look at a year, where are we traveling? We look at the year and we first block our travel. And then after that, we block business travel. And then we block, family travel. And we put all these blocks in as far as travel for the year. Then when we look at it and we talk about our days, we block our days based on what our needs are. So I'm blocked now in the morning for meditation before I even come up the stairs, half the time before my feet even come out of the bed. I have a block for meditation to handle that spirituality portion. Rob has a block for fitness, that he's not going to allow work to creep into that on a consistent basis. We have blocks that are set into our day in all of these areas. So hobbies, relationship, health, spirituality, family blocks. We block those in, and then our work weaves around those things, because work is going to happen. We're entrepreneurial. It is going to be there, and it can be there. It can bleed all over your life. you have to block in all of the other stuff first, and then your work moves around it.
Okay.
Right?
So, yes, that's right. So check this out. So now one of the areas that most people score very, very low in is hobbies, right? They're not like, they're looking, they're going like,
you mean after high school and you finish on the football team, you no longer have a hobby?
Yeah, like what is my hobby? Like I go to
Like you're not in
work,
band.
I'm married, I got a kid, I got a husband, and what hobbies? Well, what would you love to do? And I'll give you an example. One of my clients, I asked her what she'd love to do, and she said, "I'd love to have a garden." And I went, "A garden? What do you want to have in the garden?" She goes, "Oh, not just a garden. I want zucchinis and, whatever vegetables are, right? I want all those things in the garden." So she described a garden. So I went, okay, you are entrepreneurial. You are goal setting. You're a goal setting type person. There's a masterclass with a guy named Ron Finley who is called the Gangster Gardener. He's the gardener to the stars. He teaches people how to create compost piles and how to build a garden and blah, 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 blah. And it's a masterclass. Here's your assignment. Your assignment between now and the next 2 weeks is to take the masterclass and start your garden. What that has done is it has put into her life a whole new thing that has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. And here's what happens. If you want to connect to source and you want to get more
Inspired.
clarity and inspired, the only way you're going to do that is to stop that crazy freaking brain of yours from grinding away at work incessantly and family incessantly, and into something that is pure pleasure and pure inspiration and pure excitement. And you can't wait to get home at night, or you can't wait to go on the weekends, or you can't wait. And guess what? What's happening is she inspired us. She inspired us. She got so excited. We just had a gardener here for the last 2 days building boxes of...
We don't even know.
We don't even know what it is. Got compost coming in. And we don't even know what we're going to plant, but it's exciting. And she's texting me pictures now in the morning of what her garden looks like. And look what the tomatoes are doing. This has nothing to do with work. You know what it has to do with? Life. Your one and only life.
I highly recommend doing what Rob's talking about, which is, rate yourself, look at where you want to implement change, and be super intentional about it. Like, one of the things that I admire so much about my husband, and you know how, this is funny. These are the things that you admire, and on the flip side of the coin, it drives you crazy. But what I admire so much about him is how he goes so all in. He uses his full ass, never half ass. He uses his full ass in everything. And he right now is all in on being the strongest, healthiest, kick-ass 100-year-old that loves life. It's not vanity. It's not abs. It's not look at my biceps. It's none of it. He's up early, stretching ligaments and little tiny muscles and weird parts of his body. Our house is turned into a PT studio, and every ailment he has, he's going tenfold in to heal it so it doesn't create more issues. What I love about him is how all in he is in so many areas of life and doing the things that bring him joy. And that's what this is about. Write down that someday list, rank the areas of your life, and be massively intentional about fixing your health, fixing your relationship, your spiritual side, your family, your hobbies. Like, all of these things are so important to happiness. And in a world right now that's so uncertain, this is where you need to go.
Yeah, thank you for all of that. That's exactly how I feel, and that's what that's what I've come to. As you get older, you start to realize that you have less time ahead of you than you've had behind you, and you start looking at, what are all the things that I have not gotten a chance to do because I've been grinding away at making the next $1 million or whatever it is that I'm after. I'm not, look, we spend a lot of freaking money, but I'm no longer worried about whether or not it's going to come in. I know it's going to come in. I know we're going to create. I know we're going to have that entrepreneurial side of our life. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to
spend a lot of money right now on things that are bringing us massive joy.
That's right. I wrote a post the other day and it was like, I'm more interested now in spending $20 on a surf t-shirt that I like than spending $2,000 on a Gucci jacket that I could give a shit about because it doesn't give me fulfillment because I was hoping I'd wear it to some party and somebody'd say, is that a Gucci? You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid what we spend money on.
That doesn't bring fulfillment.
Doesn't bring fulfillment. So I'll leave you with this. You get the idea of fulfillment. Here's what I would suggest that you do. If you don't have a coach and you can't afford a coach, you're in a place where whatever it is, you don't have one. I would suggest that you spend a couple of $100 on the Masterclass app. And here's why. The app will, if you don't know what it is, imagine that Ron Howard teaches you how to become a director. And imagine that Armin van Buuren teaches you how to be a DJ. And remember Sheila E., the drummer, Sheila E.?
Oh, yeah.
She came out today with a drumming masterclass. Tony Hawk has a masterclass on how to skateboard. You get the idea. Go into the Masterclass app, open it up, and see what hits you. See if you look and you see authors and you're having James Patterson teach you how to write a book and you're like, I've always wanted to write a book. Or I'm taking a skateboarding masterclass. I feel like I'm going to break my neck out there riding around on a skateboard. But it's calling to me now and I want to learn how to do it, right? So look at the masterclass, but look at it through the eyes of fulfillment and not through the eyes of making more money. Because when you're more fulfilled, you're gonna make more money, I promise you. So if you are looking for somebody to help you with that and you want to just do a discovery call, I'm happy to do that with you. No charge at all. I'm going to take the next 5 people that want to do a 30-minute discovery call. No charge, 30 minutes just as a podcast listener. So if you think this is you, go to workhardplayhardcoaching.com. All I ask is that you fill the application out first. If you're not willing to fill the application out, then I'm not willing to talk to you. Na boo boo. That's it. All right. Kim, anything else?
That's it. I think you nailed it.
Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. All right. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode and you know someone that needs some help in either stepping up their work hard game or their play hard game, it would mean the world to me if you shared this podcast with them to help me get this movement out there. So if you like what you heard, head on over to iTunes, take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and I will be forever grateful. So until the next episode, excuses are over. It's time to live.